One of the things that I hate asking people is like, how much life insurance do you need? I think agents who have conversations around a needs analysis of life insurance is if you're doing that with your clients, you're having the wrong conversation. By getting involved in index universal life insurance, you are taking on a lot of risk. Hey, what's going on, cash flow hackers? It is Chris with Life 180. In today's video, I want to talk to you about what types of life insurance policies are the best. Now, there's a lot of different life insurance policies, types of policies out there. There's, the classic term life insurance that you can buy, for a period of time. It could be a 10-year term insurance policy, 15-year, 20-year, 30-year period of time. And obviously the cost of that insurance, it varies based on the duration of what you did. But basically term insurance is basically like when you're renting a car. There's other types of permanent insurance policies. And this is where it gets a little bit confusing for people, right? Because not all permanent life insurance policies are created the same. And with permanent life insurance policies, there's an infinite amount of different types of designs that you can have and structures and kind of the different ways that you can fund the policies that have a significant impact on, we'll just say, the value of said policy and how you want to leverage that policy in your life. Before I get into, what I'm going to do is I'm going to get into this, and I guess what I'll tell you right out of the gate is I'll give a summary. There are three types of policies that are overwhelmingly, if you combine these three types of policies, they account for probably 95% of all life insurance sales in the world. That's not a technical statistic. That's just based on the reading and research that I've done. That's kind of like the summation that I've come to is like 90 to 95% of all life insurance sales come through these three products. And that is term life insurance, index universal life insurance, and whole life insurance. And so what I want to do is go down the list and break down kind of the difference between the three for you, give a little bit of a breakdown of the difference between the three, talk about the positives, negatives about each one, and ultimately where they fit, where they don't, and how you can implement them in your life to benefit you. And so there's a couple things here that I want to do. Is I'm going to start with, and I already did this a little bit, but I'm going to start with term insurance. Now, there's a couple things with term insurance that's really important. With our channel, I talk a lot about leveraging life insurance as an asset, leveraging life insurance as a savings alternative. I'm a massive, massive believer in that philosophy, in that strategy. I think doing that allows you to show up more impactfully in your life, more intentionally in your life. However, I think it's important that we don't underestimate the importance of actually having life insurance. I'm married. I've been married for 15 years. I've got 3 kids, 10 years and under. 10 years old and under and younger. And so, life insurance is a really important component of making sure that my family is taken care of, And so when you look at life insurance as a whole, it's one of those things that you need to understand. Life insurance is not a need product. It's very much a want product. Like how much, one of the things that I hate asking people is like, how much life insurance do you need? I think agents who have conversations around a needs analysis of life insurance is if you're doing that with your clients, you're having the wrong conversation. You need to have a wants analysis around life insurance with your clients. Figure out like what is it that they want to have, happen in their life, for their wife, for their kids, for their own results. Because at the end of the day, the person doesn't need life insurance. It's really for their family. It's to make sure that their family is covered. Now, here's what I do love about term life insurance is that it's cheap. It will protect your family and make sure that it kind of checks the box, and all the box is, I should say, to make sure that the assets that you want your family and your kids to have, whether it's college planning, whether it's making sure that your house is paid off if something happens to you, so your spouse doesn't have to remarry any quicker, so that they can grieve, so that they can go through a process and be comfortable. That's all good stuff. Now, here's the thing about a lot of agents are not talking about, they don't realize, is that when you look at term life insurance, a lot of people don't realize there are certain companies that offer what we call living benefits with term insurance. And that is an amazing benefit if you can get access to it. Now, there's a cost to it, but at the same time, if you become critically, chronically, or terminally ill, you can get access to a portion of your death benefit while you're alive to pay for medical treatment. I'm a big believer in alternative treatments. I'm not a big believer in like the classic Western way of medicine for myself personally. And so like if I were to ever get cancer, I think, I know I would not go in and get chemo and radiation and all that stuff. I just wouldn't do it. I don't believe in that methodology. I've learned way too much about, alternative treatments. We've gone through it with my father-in-law experiencing terminal pancreatic cancer diagnosis and actually treating it on a natural basis and just blowing the oncologist's minds. And over a year later, them being confused how his tumor has shrunk with alternative treatments. Here's the problem. Alternative treatments are not covered by insurance. And so leveraging living benefits inside of a life insurance policy can be an amazing way for you to control and have direct impact in the results in your own medical directives, and be able to make decisions from an empowered perspective, not a reactive perspective, and having to kind of cower to the health insurance companies, directive of how you need to handle your own health care, right? And so a lot of people talk about it when we talk about whole life insurance and index universal life insurance, we talk about the living benefits. And I think those are really important because they're absolutely beneficial, but a lot of people don't realize that with term life insurance, those benefits can be actualized and realized as well. Now, there's a cost to them. You're not going to find the cheapest term insurance in the world to go do that, but I'm telling you, about 8 years ago, I got 2 years left on my term policy. I have a policy personally that I bought, a 10-year term policy that I considered a catastrophic policy. For $1 million of term policy for myself, I was able to go get, for $42 a month, a policy that I was able to acquire living benefits on that policy. Now, it's going to be sad for me when that expires because like all policies like this, I'm renting them and it's a cost. And, I guess by the grace of God, I haven't gotten sick and needed to use it at that point in time. But during this whole time, my family's been protected. I've had that peace of mind. I'm going to have, I'm going to have to roll it over into permanent policies and kind of fill that need personally as we move forward here and that policy expires because it gets really expensive once the term expires. But just know, or I can actually just go out and buy another term policy. I'll probably pay more per month, definitely pay more per month, but it will be what it will be because I'm still, luckily, I will qualify for another term policy at this point in time because I am healthy. I have no health issues, no medical stuff going on, anything of that nature. So it works, right? But had something happen to me in the meantime, I may not qualify. Some people may not qualify, to get another policy. So that's something you have to kind of consider, so that's that. So now I'm going to move past the term insurance policy. And now we're going to get into the index universal life conversation versus the whole life conversation. So the biggest difference between these two policies, the index universal life and the whole life insurance policy conversation, is just a function of risk. The people who sell index universal life are selling it as an investment alternative. I would say that by getting involved in index universal life insurance, you are taking on a lot of risk. There's a lot. I've done a playlist on index universal life training. If you are somebody who's thinking about buying index universal life, I would really encourage you to watch this playlist. If you're an agent, check it out. Look above. You can watch that playlist. It'll be a great training playlist for you to learn all the nuances about the good, the bad, the ugly of index universal life. But I think it's really important to understand that foundationally speaking, index universal life is an investment alternative. Whole life insurance is a savings alternative. And the function of the difference between those two is simply risk. In a savings vehicle, you cannot lose money. It's guaranteed. In an investment vehicle, you can always have the potential to lose money. And my problem with index universal life is agents are out there selling it as if it's a savings vehicle and that there's upside potential, downside protection, and you can't lose money in it. Nothing could be further from the truth. You can lose money. These policies implode all the time. They lapse in value. They don't get funded properly. Even when they are funded properly, even when they're min death benefit, maximum cash accumulation, max funded right up to the MEC limit, right up to the DEFRA limits and the guideline, using the guideline premium tests and all these different things that the agents are going to tell you. Even when they do that, they run into problems. It's because the chassis of an index universal life is designed to benefit the insurance company. The chassis of the whole life policy is designed to give guarantees and protection to the policy holder, right? So it's really a function of understanding what you're looking to do. Now, how you design the policies, one of the things that I would always say, and just as like philosophically speaking, I'm gonna just go past the index universal life and I'm gonna go to the whole life conversation right now. Now, when it comes to whole life insurance, I think utilizing a whole life insurance as a banking alternative, as a savings vehicle, I believe everybody should have a year of income minimally as an emergency fund set aside. If you have it anywhere outside of a whole life policy, I think you're making a big mistake. It's definitely inefficient, and I could show you tons of videos on why that's the case. Now, that said, if you're gonna use a whole life policy, let's just say what you want to do with a whole life policy is basically partner it up with term life insurance to meet your insurance wants, right? Like, because I'm not sure where you are and how much insurance that you want, but ultimately what you want to do is you don't want to try to meet your insurance need with whole life insurance. You want to use the whole life insurance as a bank account on steroids, and you want it to be maximum efficient from a cash accumulation perspective, from a liquidity perspective. That's the biggest mistake people make. And then once you have that optimized, then you figure out, let's say a maximum efficient contract got you a couple $100,000 of life insurance. Let's say you want $1 million, right? And you have an $800,000 gap. Well, then what you want to do is you want to go out and supplement the whole life insurance policy with a term policy to fill that gap in. Because if you try to get $1 million inside of the whole life policy and not make it as efficient as possible, it's going to eat into the cash value. It's going to make your cash growth, your liquidity, everything less efficient. That's going to have a huge opportunity cost effect on your potential wealth impact, of your wealth potential growing forward. And ultimately, what's going to happen when you do that is you're not going to be able to save money as quickly, and you're not going to be able to accumulate cash flow assets as quickly as you need to be able to reach your financial freedom number as quickly as you potentially would like to do. So anyway, I hope that helps. I hope it makes sense going through the options of term life insurance, index universal life, whole life. I think the best strategy in the world is to leverage whole life as a savings vehicle, supplement the term need, your insurance need with term insurance, combine those two together to meet your insurance wants, right? Because it's not a matter of what you need, it's a matter of what you want to accomplish and utilizing financial tools to achieve an objective, right? And so by doing that, that'll be great. And when you do that, that allows you to save with the mindset of investing, being prepared for emergency, being prepared for opportunity. Done a lot of videos on this, it's phenomenal. But being prepared for opportunity in economic cycles, like downward cycles, is where wealth is really created. And that's what this whole philosophy and strategy is all about. So if you haven't already, smash that like button. If you understand what I'm talking about, get this algorithm, get the YouTube algorithm to get it out there to more people. And please, if you haven't, I would love and be honored if you subscribe to the channel, click that bell, that way you get notified every single time we launch a new video. Check out the playlist. If, once again, I know there's a lot of people that are index universal life agents. It's one of the most popular types of policies sold. I think it's one of the most missold financial products, dangerously so, on the face of the earth, right? And so at the end here in the end screen, you could check right here. There is a whole playlist educating you as a consumer or you as an agent as to why index universal life, the components and elements of index universal life you need to understand to make sure you can make an educated decision around your financial strategy and how you leverage insurance as an asset to accomplish what you're looking to accomplish in your financial life. So anyway, I hope that helps. I hope you go out there, have a blessed, inspirational day, and we'll talk to you on the next video.